Righto, so I've gone live, and the title that I've given this call today, this live, is what does it really mean to be human? And the extension of that is shifting from a 3D to a 5D consciousness, because there's, I'm attracting a lot of people all of a sudden very much to the work that I'm doing, and it's because you are ready. And I want to share something with you today. And I'm going to do it first with bringing Elaine into the group. I just got off a call with 2 client calls today, and Elaine was one of them. Rachel, if you're watching and listening, I don't know if you're here yet, but if you pop on in, I'd love to have a conversation with you too. But I'm going to bring Elaine. Everybody give Elaine some love as I bring Elaine onto the call. Elaine, hi, how are you? We got to do it as a sound check again. Can't hear you at the moment. No, can't hear you. Do you remember what you did to get it activated when we came in last time? Nope, can't hear you. While you figure out the sound controls there, I'm going to be chatting away behind the scenes here. Hi, Denise, or in front of the scenes. And just check the audio mic. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry.
It's all right. Lorianne, we've got some beautiful people. And Cynthia, we've got so many people jumping on the call. I'm going to watch that as best as I can. Say hello as you come onto the live call. And I just wanted to bring Elaine in. Elaine, this is the first time I've met you today, as in like on a one-on-one, and we did a call this morning, yes? Yep. And I just, would you like to just share briefly, what was your experience, without going into anything that you don't want to share, just no details, but like just, what was your experience of the call? Like I'd never met you before. I tuned into your energy and you're like, oh, yes. The validation hooks, the experience of doing it, just share that, because it's an experience rather than something you can know, correct? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Katie. Something weird is happening because I'm hearing all of your previous conversation as well. It's replaying for some reason. I don't know why. But I just want to say how great it is to...
I can hear the feedback. Is that coming from the Zoom, or have you got another window open for the live call at the same time? Happy Easter to everyone, by the way. We can actually hear you quite clearly. So if you can sort of filter through that echo noise on your end, we can actually hear you.
Okay, cool. All right. I just want to say how wonderful it is to be a part of this amazing group. I've always known that I've had blockages, and I've always known that I've been different. And for me, this is just the beginning of my journey.
Awesome. Fantastic. And so welcome to have you here. You're a bright light and really appreciate it. And who invited you? I believe it was Sue Bremer. So Sue, thank you. And for everyone who's inviting people that you know and trust is the calling to, thank you for that, because we're really collaborating. We're really bringing the energy in here for this shift, which is amazing. And please continue to share far and wide. How was the call for you today, the one-on-one that we literally just got off 15 minutes ago before I started? What was that experience like for you?
It was absolutely brilliant, Katie, and it reinforced exactly the the ability that you have to be able to tap into whoever you're dealing with. I just can't speak highly enough of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And you've joined us into the Awakened Soul program, which I'll make sure I add the details for everybody to be able to click through and join us. I've got it. It's a 6-week live program, and I'm going to share the content with you in a minute that will take you a little bit into what you can expect in the Awakened Soul program. But during the 6-week live training, we're going to go a much deeper, much more accelerated joyride. Strap yourself in, because it's going to be fast and intense in a wonderful way, fun. I can see there's lots of people on the call right now who've worked with me before. If you have, just drop a comment down below about what it's like to be in a live group training. It is unlike anything you have ever done. I've had people who've worked with me who have come from the arenas of Joe Dispenza and Tony Robbins and amazing people like that, but then they come in, they go, oh my God, you bring a whole new level to it. And the cool thing is that I really want as many people connected and doing this work now more than ever before. And it's almost a complimentary fee to join us at the moment. Instead of $997, it's $396, which finishes up today. So you want to jump on in and grab that because we kick off on the 20th of April. And I'm really excited, Elaine, because you're in it. You're coming with us and you're going to have a brilliant ride.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait.
The other thing I want to just speak directly to what you said, and I appreciate you acknowledging the work that I've done to activate my light so I can be that source energy for other people to be able to see from the light that I'm shining, see within yourself the light switches to activate within yourself. I have a mission and a goal that within 2 to 4 years, I'm completely redundant on this planet doing what I do. And that doesn't mean that there's like end of the mission for me on the planet, but like essentially, where I see everyone going is shifting into a high consciousness where you activate all of your soul superpowers too. These are not mine, right? I'm just simply a conduit and I've opened myself right up to being available to be in the higher level vibration so that I can access these skills and tools which are available to everybody who raises their vibration. Isn't that exciting?
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm gonna thank you and have you leave the room now so that I can
Thank you, Katie. Thank you.
I appreciate you so much, and I'm going to share some incredible content today, which tune in. Everybody tune in. Don't worry about taking notes because you can come back and rewatch this again later. I want you to be fully present. So just going to I will there we go. I'll see you later, Elaine. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
So I wanted to just really invite you all to be fully present with me today because so many of you are new to the group, and I thank you. Welcome to joining us. It's an incredible opportunity for you to really remember who you really are. And Bernie, thank you. A safe community with so much support all the way. Welcome to the newbies coming through. It's Gold, Linda, hi, and happy Easter. So many of you coming on in. Fantastic. Thank you. So I wanted to address something that's coming up a lot for people because really, what is reality? What is humanity? What is it that we're going through? What's all the stuff going on really about? Many of you are very much awake or awakening, and still like in that chaotic tumble spin, you're questioning reality, but you're kind of sensing that there is this, you got a sense of something new, but you're kind of caught in the tumble spin at the moment. And I'm going to relate what the journey of humanity really is about to what I love sharing it through the model of, which is the caterpillar, the cocoon, and the butterfly, or if you like 3D, 4D, and 5D. Would you like me to share with you more information about that? Give me some yeses down below. Let me have some energy from you so that I can actually feed back that energy and really give you a channel of light, love and light, that you can receive what I'm about to share with you in a way that it's going to land and you will be ready to receive and activate it so that you can put it straight into action for you. Give me some love on that. And in the meantime, I'm going to have a little sip of my organic coffee, my organic milk, which I'm really, really enjoying. Got big yeses. Excellent. Awesome. Fantastic. Lots of yeses. Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So I'm going to continue on. I'm going to also have some water. Let me share something really crucial first. Anything I share with you is how I am experiencing truth. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your truth. I want you to take what I'm sharing and resonate with what resonates and explore it you know, use your critical mind as well as, but come from a place from within your heart, which is really, really important. This is also, I want to address something too, which is, it's been interesting because, you know, I always talk and share about energy, vibration, and frequency, and this is essentially where I'm going in this conversation. Recently, I've had a few people, and people who I've worked with in the past, or even existing clients who have shared with me privately saying, look, I'm just not resonating with what you're talking about now. I'm not into politics. I'm not into the religion. And I'm like, okay, I want to address that. If you're not resonating with it, it's because you're not doing the inner work to raise your frequency, right? The frequency shifts are happening so fast at the moment, and energetically, you need to be doing more of the inner work. I'm going to explain this more in a moment with the 3D, the 4D, and the 5D reality. The other thing too I want to address, if you or anyone that you know is still attached to the duality of things being religion-based or political-based, let's be even specific about politics. Politics does not exist. I want you to understand that. It exists only in the 3D reality as part of the duality. It's designed to have a split, this or that, this or that. It's a game, right? Those of you who may still be questioning around about Trump, I want you to understand this. Trump is not a politician. He's not a politician. He's using the platform of politics to reach all of humanity. And if anyone is anti-Trump, bottom line, you're anti-humanity. Bottom line, still asleep and connected in the 3D matrix. And so and you don't even have to believe me on that. But if anyone, like, no one challenges me on it anymore because I'm at a level of so much knowingness connected with that, not belief, because belief is still actually a filter of the brain, the filter of the ego, but it's a knowingness. And when you tune into the information, I'm inviting you to use all information that you receive by tuning into your higher self and allowing your higher self to guide you, to show you what you need to learn on your journey for this awakening, because this is about a great awakening worldwide. Is everyone sort of like receiving my message so far already? Understanding that? Am I making sense? Yes? I mean, just even asking some critical questions is really important too. You know, why in the first time in ever history has one politician been so attacked by all sides and forces, and yet also be the greatest, most loved politician worldwide, right? That should be something to like get curious about. So it should be something to get really curious about. And so I want to share with you through the version of the 3D, the 4D, and 5D, so that you're going to have a better understanding about your own journey, but also you'll have a better understanding about the collective humanity and what makes sense of some things. And if you want to go on a deeper dive with this, it's going to be in the Awakened Soul program, which kicks off. It's a 6-week live group training. I do lots of amazing content in this group. Would you agree? I want to have as many people access the tools and the skills, but to learn the skills, the energetic skills, in order to raise your frequency, it is not a thing of the ego. Even those that are tuned in, when they work with me, they get accelerated through very quickly in the frequency. So it's just something that I want you to be aware of, that if you would like to, and I highly recommend you do, jump on board and join us for the 6-week training, which is a much deeper dive, a much faster acceleration in a safe place that's appropriate, that I will guide you through so many things, not just from the intellect, in fact very little from the intellect. I do give you the explanation of it, but I also really give you the tools so that you can access your own knowing and be of that critical mind. Those of you that are following or new to Q, please understand Q is only giving information. It's a military connection, and it's not just it's not one person, it's a small group of humans, if you like, and non-humans who are on planet and off planet, working as a collective to be able to raising our group consciousness, our collective group consciousness. No one should be telling you what to think. That has been the role of the media and the governments and the education system and what everything's been going on in the network of the mind control that's been going on in the 3D reality. The whole purpose is that you become your own authority, that you re-access your self-sovereignty, that you're listening to your soul. And the only way to do that is to clear the energy blocks that have been in the way, that be caught in the 3D reality, that are preventing you from allowing your soul to slip in and seat into your physical body. It will not do that if your dense vibration, it just goes, oh, I can't get into that suit. I can't. So it's tethered, and you might be listening, but you're feeling disconnected or not as connected as you wanted to. But you cannot be trying to create a new reality from a 3D reality. Is this making sense? Elaine says, answers so many questions relating to Donald Trump. Yeah, you're not a politician. It's such a fun game. It's awesome. There's so much going on. And so with the Q drops, it's all about you being a critical mind. If you're new to Q or you're losing faith, here's what I'm going to say to you. You're too busy in 3D reality, right? If you're losing faith, you're too busy in 3D reality. You're cooked and hooked to the 3D matrix. Same if you're triggered. If you have any triggers, it means you're in the 3D reality. Because in the 5D reality, you're not triggered. Everything is all connected. So I'm going to explain that journey for you in a moment so that you can see, oh my God, that makes sense. Oh my God, that makes sense. Oh my God, that makes sense. So that you've got something to connect with and understand the characteristics of the 3D versus the 4D versus the 5D. Now, I want to qualify something here. People go, oh my God, what does ascension mean? Does ascension mean I'm going off planet? Well, no, in this context, ascension means raising your vibration, raising your frequency. You cannot receive the information that is in a 5D realm energetically if you are in 3D. It's a bit like if you had, do you remember the big old brick phones? You know, the analog phones? It's a bit like if you had an analog phone and you're trying desperately to hook into 4G, right? You're trying to get into the digital network. You can't. And no, you might know it's there, but you can't access it if you're using an analog phone, right? And that's the frustration a lot of people are feeling right now, because they're hearing it, they believe it, because their soul is like, yes, please wake up, please wake up. But there's a work to be done in order to do the clearing. Anyone who is defaulting all the work to the QAnon and the military and Trump and whoever else is involved, you need to just pay attention to this call, because your job, for a start, all our souls have collectively nominated the roles that we're playing out. So we've nominated the military to do the work that is on that front line. So yay you, yay them, thank you, right? We've already nominated that. But it doesn't mean you're exempt. Now you kick back and have the popcorn, but it's also not just about enjoying the show. You are still a part of the show. So you need to be doing the inner work. This is your time, now more than ever, to be accelerating your frequency, to clear the junk, detach from all the programs that have been keeping you bound in the 3D matrix. Is this making sense? Elaine says Q drops are amazing. Oh, they're going to get even more amazing for you, as with the Hillary Clinton emails now being fully exposed, and how you can access every single one of them. Okay, Christy, triggers. Does that also relate to relationships with kids? All of them. All of them. And Christy, you have joined us for the Awakened Soul program. Yay! You're going to have such a magnificent journey. Your life is going to be transformed forever. Same with Elaine. We've got Bernie. Many of you are already in that program. And if you're not yet, jump in. If your soul is saying, this feels like a right fit, please stop using your ego to prevent you from taking the action. Figure it out. Find a way. At the moment, it's only $396 to jump on in while it's still off at that offer. So make sure that you jump in. I promise you, you will be thanking your soul and yourself over and over and over again, because a lot of people say, I don't know why I joined it. It just felt right. And it was amazing. Right. And so this is the experience. So let me thank you for responding with all that. I am making sense to you. That's great. I'm speaking to you. And if it's not quite making sense yet, that's okay too. Because a lot of it, it's messy. All right, it's a glorious mess. So let me explain some of the process, and I want to relate 3D, 4D, and 5D to the process of being a caterpillar in the cocoon and then a butterfly. So 3D caterpillar, munch, 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 consuming, all in the material world, right? Attachment, attachment, attachment. Everything's about attachment, attachment to relationships, attachment to ideas, attachment to material possessions, including money. It's this attachment of this illusion of trying to control, because 3D is all rooted in fear. It's not trusting self, others, or the universe, a fear of losing control of things. So in deviant ways, but also benign ways, meaning the good girl, good boy ways, you'll try and manipulate people and circumstances in order to maintain some sense of certainty that you've got this control. It's a false illusion, but it's this fear of not being in control that powers at play will be manipulated, including yourself. And I'll give you some examples so you go, ooh, so guilty of that. Right, I get it. And just so that you can be aware of those patterns, those programs that you've been running in. For example, having poor boundaries and saying yes to be a people pleaser to people because you're afraid of what they're going to say to you or not say to you, or reject you, or whatever it is. If you say yes out of that fear-based derivative, then you're operating in a 3D. That's a manipulation. Does that make sense? Because, you know, energetically, if you say yes to something you don't really want to do, you end up point scoring or expecting somebody else to just understand you or help you without you actually being, you know, them asking, or maybe you say yes, but you feel resentful underneath. Cool. Thanks for the honesty, the feedback with all of that. So that's an example of, please understand, this isn't just like, you know, what the most obvious kind of bad behavior. This is done in a way, anything rooted in fear is in the 3D reality. So again, fear of losing control, not trusting self, others, or the universe. So not having faith. Let that one land. Defining ourselves about, you know, who we are and this identity about what we possess or what we do for a living, our status, all fear-based, all fear-based. About, you know, what's your net worth and when, you know, what do you do and what do you have? It's all fear-based. It's all part of that 3D matrix. All of that is designed to keep you locked up in your head and closed heart, because your soul can't come in if your heart is closed. Your heart field is the soul expression. So being locked up in the head and disconnected, closed heart means you're also disconnected and locked out from God. Right? Source, energy, your higher self. And so energetically, what will happen is, like, you start praying to God out there, out there. And that's in the 3D reality. And that's what happens is when you're disconnected, or you start channeling to out there, or the guides speak to you from out there, instead of it being your higher self seated in here, which is in the 5D reality we're all moving towards. But I'm getting there. I'll get you there. I really want to just bring up the information around the 3D reality, and just really understanding that this whole duality in the 3D reality is all about this right, wrong, good, bad, joy, despair, and it's one or the other. And it's believed that, like, death is really painful and dark and finite, and like, this is it, you know, we've got one life to live and this is it. And we believe in scarcity and that we're not enough. There's not enough, like, you're not enough because of whatever reason, or there's not enough to have. Therefore, if I have it, someone else can't have it. That's the program, and it couldn't be more wrong, but it sets it up for this winners and losers mindset and this whole law and dynamics in the 3D reality. And then in addition to that, it's the whole 3D mindset has you convinced that you've got to be right. Someone's wrong, you're right, or you're wrong and someone else is right. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Every time I put powder on, I put powder on to reduce the glare, and it always tinkers with my nose. So sorry. But with, and then a big part of it, and this came up in a couple of the calls that I did today, which it does a lot, right? The whole division of this whole masculine feminine energy as well. Now, I'm not going into talking about transgender here, so please listen in with a very discerning mind to what I'm saying. I'm talking about the energies where In the 3D reality, the fear is I'm not complete unless I have you or someone else, right? To fulfill that energy. Most people in 3D reality, joy is such an elusive experience, and it's experienced in small minute amounts, often only when you're in nature or orgasmic sex, right? And so the sexual and intimacy becomes this thing people cling for, needy for outside of self, to have that person to complete them, to be part of wholeness. And that is, you know, the biggest clue that you want to be able to harness and master your energy in the whole integrated state, wholeness, your masculine and feminine energies, so that you can experience all of that within yourself. You don't need somebody else to experience that. The distinction is that in the 5D reality, you can have somebody that you share that experience with rather than you're taking that energy from. Does that make sense? And even if you think you're an overgiver, when you're in that mindset in the 3D, you're still taking. Is that valuable? Chrissy says, oh my God, I have some triggers. Get me out of this 3D push through. I'll be teaching you how to utilize and ride those bucking bronco, harness it and ride that bucking bronco out and tame it. I will be teaching you that in depth in the Awakened Soul program. Is what I'm saying so far landing so far? Is it helping you? Yep. Here's another key thing that lets you know that you're in the 3D reality and trapped in programs. You're not in the moment. Meaning you're trying to predict the future and you're making statements about how things are. Like, for example, I'm seeing fairly consistently a couple of statements in the group. Oh my God, those kids are going to be traumatized for life. Oh my God, those emergency workers, they're going to be traumatized for life. Please stop that storyline. It is not serving you and it's not serving anyone else. I'm going to give you some tools to help you shift that, right? Because that is on a that is fear-based, fear-mongering narrative that is not going to serve anyone. And you can't possibly create a new narrative if you're coming from any experience you think you already know from the past and casting that into the future and trying to make a predictive future, and you're telling the world what it's going to be in a predictive negative outcome. Let's drop that one. Not high serving. So here's the thing. 3D reality keeps you'll know because you're worried, you're fear, you're anxious, it doesn't feel good, right? You're focused on what you don't want. That's all 3D matrix. You are plugged into the matrix and activated in the matrix, right? Even if you think you know what's going on, you're still operating in a 3D fear-based process and missing the valuable point to do the connection and be present, do the inner work so you can clear those energy blocks, be in the present moment so you can create from that space. You cannot create new unless you are fully present in the now and in a high vibration. Otherwise, you're going to keep creating the same old narrative, the same old reality, and then explode that out to everybody else who's going to try and convince them to be right, more of the 3D reality about where it's going. And you'll dismiss anyone else who's on a higher vibration, trying to pull people down on a lower vibration. Please be disciplined to stop that. Is that cool? Is that valuable, getting that awareness as well? Yeah. Denise says, and the energy of it is deflating. Wow, I'm looking at the screen and it's like, way behind where I'm actually at now. So I'm going to keep going because I know I'm about a couple of minutes ahead. So also in the 3D reality, there's like one timeline, and that coincides with what I was just saying. That's the presumption that this is the way it is because it's always been like that, and that's the way it's going. Well, because that's all I know, and that's the way it's going. 3D reality has one timeline. It's where you get hooked into the illusion and you give away your power every time you do that, and you are giving it outside of yourself to somebody else's agenda. You then become the beast that is harnessed and whipped around and ridden on like a freaking donkey. Please stop. If at the very least, just pause to be silent a bit instead of projecting the negativity of the timelines, so that you give yourself the opportunity to tune inward and listen to your soul, because your soul will give you, we're all connected. We know that when you're in 5D, we're all connected. That's where we're going. But in 3D, you think you're separate. You think you're separate from God and separate from others and separate from self even. And that's the illusion that we're all overcoming and doing the Great Awakening with. So the 3D reality, it blocks you from being connected to your spiritual body. We have many bodies. What we see is our physical body, but we have an emotional body, a mental body, an astral body. We have a spiritual body. We have an emotional, I said that one. We have, all our energetic, our ethereal body, for example, our ethereal body is within an inch of our physical body. It's the hologram that literally has the energetic blueprint of what our physical body manifests into this world. And any energetic healing that we do, it really starts in that holographic etheric body, because it goes from thought first, that we then shift that energy, align the energy, and it manifests and upgrades in the physicality. That's why everything begins with thought. It's not just, random thoughts being thrown out there. And a lot of people get it with the head, but haven't yet activated the heart and really embody it. And that's what this whole Great Awakening is about. It's about really activating all of your energy centers in your spiritual body, in your etheric body, so that you are able to manifest it in your physical reality and make the shifts. You're going to still experience a very similar world, but you're going to experience it in a state of being, of joy, of bliss, enlightenment, when you shift through into the 5D reality. But you can't do it without going through 4D. So let me explain a little bit more, finish off about the 3D as well. So here's the other thing, 3D, why do we experience it? Well, we come in here with the information, the soul has agreed to do it. Every soul has agreed to come in and play out our role, the light, the dark, love, and the fear. Right? And you get a choice. It's only the real choice that you get in this illusionary experience is the choice of, do I love or do I fear? Or do I play the light or do I play the dark? The tale of the two wolves, which one do you feed? That's it. I mean, it's coded for us all the way through. You get to see it when you wake up, right? So you want to be able to make sure that you are feeding love and light. Now, the energy of the ego mind is what keeps you trapped in the 3D reality. And being part of that, it's helping you to be able to overcome previous lives, as well as, family and genetic installs that at a cellular level is where you need to make the shift. Now, please get this, because this is important, relating it back to the caterpillar, the cocoon, and the butterfly, because if you know anything about that process, when the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, it completely lets go of everything it's identified with at a cellular level. It liquefies, reforms before it emerges as a cocoon. Do you think that process gets a little messy and it's dark? Do you think it's a little lonesome? Right? Because it's in a cocoon space, right? You need to be in that space, free of all the distractions of the 3D, so that you can fully emerge and step into the 5D. But as long as the ego mind is in lead, the heart is closed and your connection to the soul is blocked most of the time. So that's the biggest challenge that most people have. They have energy blocks, their heart's blocked, and it's kind of not your fault, but it is your job to wake up, right? The reason why I say it's not your fault is because in this reality, in the 3D reality, the whole game has been an attack against your perception, your brain, and your heart, your electromagnetic field. And you need to figure out, remember, how to tune in who you really are as a divine being, not just a human walking the planet for one lifetime, but to tune into who you really are and tune into remembering the powers of who you be, so that you can utilize them, raising your frequency, raising your vibration, and tuning into your intuition, letting your soul guide you. Because in 5D, there are no coincidences. 3D, people write it off as being coincidence. Oh, that's just a coincidence. And it's like, wow, walking, sleeping, right? And there are no coincidences. I'm just going to do a bit of a check-in here. Reborn, butterflies, new beginnings. Sue says, now is the age of Aquarius. Excellent. Elaine says, yes, I need to pause as I've been a warrior fighting injustice. It's all an illusion, like in the sense, like in 3D reality, there's laws in the 3D reality we have to abide by, right? We have to abide by. And that's why the military and the whole alliance are winning this war, because we're abiding by the rules of planet Earth in 3D. However, the battle is not limited to 3D. The battle, again, goes way beyond 5D, but it's a spiritual war. The minute you go into 4D, which now we're going into the astral plane, we're moving into, in 3D, understand this, we think that there is linear time, that time is just tick, 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 around the clock, and it goes one way, right? It doesn't. It actually is all things at once, but you're not going to get that full awareness and comprehension unless you raise your vibration and frequency to tune into that. And as you're raising, you're going to experience 4D, which is you're shifting out of the 3D realm and the laws of the 3D realm, moving into a 4D in the astral plane. In the astral plane and the time, aware that there are now multiple timelines, but you're still kind of gravitating towards the linear code mode type experience. And the way that you need to be able to be aware of this is understanding, like, this is not the time to be creative, as in like trying to create a new future, because you're just going to keep creating more of the fear. You need to be clearing the energy blocks as your foundational skill set right now to make sure that you can then tune into being fully present in the moment in a joyful state of being, to then create from that place a heightened state of energetic frequency that allows you to create in a new state of an energy field, in the 0 point energy field. Is that making sense? Connecting. Yes. Essentially, what we need to do is be shifting from the ego driving, right? Kick the ego out of being on the steering wheel, kick them out, or even in the back, and let the soul slip in and be doing the driving. But you're not going to do that if you've got all the programs, the energy blocks that are the programs that are blocking your energetic centers from your soul able to comfortably get into a high vibrating body. This is an upgrade at a cellular level. And when we learn to live from the heart, we literally allow that to take over leading our lives, and our ego takes a back seat. Christy says, I need to start this like last decade. Get me moving. You're already making motions, gorgeous. You're already doing it. You're doing great. And it's going to be a fun ride. So hang in there. And all my clients will say, be careful what you wish for, because like you don't need a seatbelt. You need a harness, right? You need a harness to strap in. Bernie says, is it just my end, or are you freezing the others as well? Freezing for others as well, you mean? Maybe. I hope not. Look, I'm recording it on my end as well, so hopefully I get a better quality recording for you. And the other thing too, in 3D reality, and this is an important one because we're becoming more and more aware of the collective consciousness which is being seeded for the big public release about what's going on with the tunnels and the children and everything else. But understand the 3D reality, it's where we're learning and understanding about, we're in a program of victims and perpetrators. But what we need to learn is realizing that they're playing out a role to be a mirror and a teacher to all of us. And we're actually all part of the one collective. And that's very hard to experience or believe or see when you're in the 3D reality. When you're in the 5D reality, you're shifting into, instead of it being love or fear, it's love and fear. It's not that it's fearless, it's just less fear, like, because you're not going to buy into that timeline. You're going to see it and experience it for the wholeness of all that it is. It's all about being whole-brained, whole heart, whole connected, whole integrated, understanding the big picture and understanding what everything is doing and being for us, not to us. Does that make sense? And we don't have to wait until we die, until we see the light. We can experience that physically in our human body by raising our vibration and being aware of what's going on. But again, going into the 4D, which is more of that cocoon phase, it's going more into that dream world, the astral plane. And we're going into it's less dense in the energy field than the 3D reality, but it's a murky mess as it's all being tumbled around and working your way forward. It's also a reason, if most of you are light workers, or you've felt like you're a starseed, a light worker, an empath. By the way, everyone's going into the upgrade of the empathy and the heart expansion, and also for these skill sets, tuning into all of your clairsentience, which is a knowingness, and clairvoyance, and just all your clairs, which is simply a heightened state of being, your psychic senses, to be able to tune in, because it's your soul able to do the reading of the Akashic record, the field, rather than just what you believe. You'll believe it when you see it, right? Which is the program over the 3D. But in the 4D, you're going to be moving into this liquefying state. Everything that you have believed in 3D is going to fall away, and you're going to be reorganizing energetically so that you're tuning into the 5D. But if you've got any of these skill sets, and at any point in your life that you've been afraid to shine your light, there's a reason for that. You want to know? You want to know? I'm just checking your responses. There's a big reason for that. Because you have a sense, you're connected to your soul, you have a sense that, you're questioning the 3D reality, you just think it's all a bunch of BS, and you never really fit into any of that stuff, but you didn't have the skill set harnessed and mastered on how to energetically rise above it yet. And there's a big, that was a smart thing to do. Until you learn, harness and master your energy skills. You don't want to be turning your light switch up and doing the evolution unless you're harnessing and mastering your energy. Because the rules in 3D, the laws that we have in 3D are different to the laws in 4D and 5D. We now move into the spiritual realm. The laws in 3D don't factor in 4D and 5D. So you can get attacked psychically, emotionally, spiritually, if you are not aware of how you are shifting and moving your energy, right? So if you're bringing the 3D fear into the 4D, it's just going to be a shit mess, right? Sue says, I felt very emotional yesterday. I wanted to cry in a weird way, though. My heart was really beautiful. That's awesome. Be in the mess of it all, right? Trusting is having that faith that there is a wonderful evolution happening, and it's going to happen. Right? It's going to happen, especially if you're in the flow of it. You can do it with a lot more ease, though. Right? And what's it going to cost you if you resist sort of like having some guidance and a pathway to try and do it all on your own? You can do that. But like, is it going to cost you more time and energy and stories and all that muck and junk, or would you be move through it faster with a more a hammock of love, if you like, as you accelerate through those processes? You're still going to feel the muck. I'm not going to paint a pretty picture for you, right? Everyone thinks, it's going to be all rainbows and rainbows and unicorns now, right? And I'm like, yep, on a pathway of a shit mess along the way. So, like, you just understanding that, just really connecting with that is going to be useful for you to be able to embrace what's happening instead of making judgments around it, because judgment is 3D. Unconditional love is 5D. And just, also the fifth dimension is about really embodying that joyful state of being, which in 3D becomes this elusive thing that's out there. It's very rare, but in 5D, you're living in joy. Right? Even though there's all sorts of stuff going on, you're not triggered. Or if you are, it's momentarily, because you realize the state of all that it is. You're like, oh, hey, I temporarily had a little cat nap. I temporarily went to sleep for a second and bought into the old illusion of the pathway. Let's cut that thread, right? And let's just see it for all that it is. And it's living from the heart. It's living from this unconditional place of love and gratitude. And it's really integrating all of that energy. Remember, I was talking about in 3D, there's a split with the masculine and feminine, right? And I'm seeing lots of people going, power to the feminine. Okay, great. But don't forget the masculine, right? It's an illusion. It's just it's duality, splitting. It's spiritually androgynous. It's not transgender. That's not what I'm talking about. But spiritually androgynous, where you're fully integrated. You have the balance of the masculine and the feminine in all that you be. And how you want to present that, that's up to you, right? But energetically, there's a full sense of completeness of self. You're integrated, you're whole. You don't need somebody else to fulfill a masculine or a feminine role in your life for you to feel complete. Make sense? And we realize that we are a deeper aspect of source. We are a soul signature, an energetic signature, a unique one. And we embrace that individuality in ourselves and others. It's a collaborative experience. It's not competitive. There is no competition in 5D. Everything is all that it is. And we realize that in that deep sense of trust of self and others in the universe, that we're fully taken care of. We're just, it's a joyful state of being. Is that useful? Sue says, grieve the death of the old first so we can move forward. Exactly, right? Which is, you know, it's an important part of the process. It's that grief of death, which is, I go through deeply in that in week 2 of the Awakened Soul program. We go through grief and loss, because that's the death of the ego. The ego, everything that it's identified with or thinks that it owns or has or possesses, or its status, right? Every single thing that you are attached to at that level, it needs to die. Unattached. Most people are exerting so much energy in this mind movie about the fear of losing someone or something or their money or their status, and all that energy is caught up in that fear cycle, or the fear of the outcome of, you know how other people are going to be. Watch those projections. Be mindful of those projections, because they are mass projections, right? Really, energetically, what you're saying is, this is how I believe the world is right now, and I'm stuck in a 3D matrix, and I believe the whole world is going to respond this way. No, you're responding that way. We all individually create our own reality. There is multiple timelines, parallel timelines happening at all the time. Which one are you choosing? Yeah. Anyway, I just really wanted to just share a bit of a big picture of the 3D, the 4D, and the 5D. And wrapping that up, 3D is like being in the caterpillar. You're connected to the materialism and consumption, right? 4D, you're going to go into that spin. You're disconnecting from the old self. It's the death of the old self. It's liquefying. It's reorganizing the energy of the cells so that you are ready to emerge into the 5D, the butterfly, where you literally have a level of freedom that is so joyous and so light. Every time I do an energetic block clearing with somebody, I'm like, I always find out the feedback, like, my God, I feel so light. And it's not just a lightness in body, it's a light in energy, a light in clarity, because the energy blocks are being cleared. Not necessarily all at one go, but they're certainly being cleared. There's sometimes some of you have decades of programming that needs to be deprogrammed first, so that you can have a new upgrade in your operating system for the programming. Or it's not even a programming, it's just the allowance of, it's no programming. Like it's just really moving into the flow of the life force energy that allows you to fill and be expansive. All right, so if this has been useful, give me a heck yes down below, or out of 1 to 10, let me know how valuable it's been. On a 1 to 10, write down a number down below, and maybe some feedback as to what's been valuable for you. But I really hope that you are embracing what I'm sharing, and it's helped you to really connect a few dots so that you can see the big picture of what's going on here. This isn't just a military thing. This is a spiritual awakening worldwide, and moving into a place of unconditional love and releasing all judgment of self and others. Wherever they are at in their journey, that's where they're at. And it's like, it's not going to serve anyone by going into judgment around that. We need to be, or including ourselves, right? Including ourselves. And that's probably the biggest one. That's where most of you are like, into like, I'm not good at this, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it. It's like, you got to stop all of that, because that's just keeping you hooked, plugged in. 3D, right? 3D. It's not fun. It's not fun, but you're self-enforcing that. And I want to invite you, please stop. Please stop. And I'm also going to invite you, for those of you who would like to join us in the live training, the Awakened Soul program, which is a very deep dive. It's 6 weeks live training. Now, please understand this. This isn't 6 weeks, do it once. I'm doing 6 weeks live with you to go through the process. It's a spiritual gym for life that you have access to. You then have that responsibility, that 100% self-responsibility to be practicing, harnessing and mastering your energy to move forward. I do have additional programs after that, but you must use this one as a foundation. Otherwise, you're just like, like it goes way deep. But I set up this foundational program to be able to help you get connected with that so that you can move forward. Bernie says always a 10. Katie I don't know. You've got hells massively. I don't know what that really meant. It's obviously a typo. Helps massively in creating our new way of seeing and being who we were born to be. Yay! I want to do myself out of a job, guys, like gals. I want to get, you're all going to be activated all soon enough. It's not going to necessarily be in a week or a month. This, just to give you a little bit of, for those of you who are maybe even new to the whole Q and the awakening, please understand this is an absolutely massive operation on a physical level, a spiritual level. Your only job, like, stop going to judging about the timing of everything, because there's just so much going on. Your only focus needs to be on you clearing the energy blocks within your own physicality and your energetic field so that your soul can slip in. Instead of being dangling out there, hanging on by a thread or a cord, saying, oh, Jesus, when's this human going to wake up? Like, fully, right? That's the message that I have for you at the biggest level. So I'm going to drop the link to join us in the Awakened Soul program down below and above as well. If you're catching the replay, please go in and check that. Instead of $997 US, it's available for $369. That's going to allow you to be in the whole experience. You'll get access to the private Facebook group. It's separate to this because we go much deeper, and we do incredible fun things through that process. During the 6 weekly live calls, it will be a Zoom room. We sometimes have, I'm expecting up to 50 people in the room at one time, depending, because we've got people from all over the planet. The information will be in the link that I put above, so you can go and check that, or down in the comment box, or reach out and private message me. You'll also have access to a 6-week members area, plus I've never done before, and this is limited for a time being as well, is you'll also get, in addition to the Awakened Soul program, you're going to get access to my the Energized Soul experience. And it's like a first aid toolkit. I haven't even mentioned my name. Some of you are brand new to me. I'm Katie Joy, and I really don't care who I am and my status or anything like that. I'm just a light, right? I'm just doing my soul's job. But to give you a little bit of context and background, I had a career as a paramedic. And so very, very much very aware on the science of the body, very passionate about that. But I'm also very aware about spirituality. I've got some pretty cool stories that I share deep in that group that go deep about even just being, when I was as a paramedic, some of the spiritual experiences I had during that process of, through my awakening process. But the Energized Soul experience is like a first aid toolkit and training for your soul, like you would have for a first aid kit and training if you went on a 1 or 2 day weekend course to learn how to, bandage up a busted arm, or, bandage a bruise or a cut, or, take care of somebody in a spinal situation or a drowning, right? You get an additional 18 tools specifically tailored with a whole course kit of, okay, if you're experiencing this, use this tool. If you're experiencing this, use this tool, right? So you're going to have training around that as well. It's invaluable, incredible. It's another $500 in value. You're getting that as a bonus. Plus, there's only a few spots left, because the first 20 that get in also get a bonus 30-minute balance call with me. So you better be quick, because there's only a few of those left. Christy says, what can we do today before the program starts to move through some of these obstacles? Get out into nature and just be quiet. How's that? I'm going to give you the most simple one. Get out in nature. Stop buying into other people's stories and programs. And I think that was something I was going to say about the QAnon thing. If there are people that say that, oh, I've been following Q for 2 years and I'm watching them do their posts. I'm like, no, you're following other people's opinions for 2 years, right? Like, if you're really following Q is teaching you to learn to think critically for yourself from a heart activated space. It's so amazing how this all ties together. And I just want to, I won't be teaching like the full extent of where all this goes inside the Awakened Soul program, because even here, like, please understand, this is just like a small thing of the disclosure that's coming. Oh, there's so much coming, but like, we need to be energetically prepared for it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to receive it, because you'll be in the program of the 3D, right? And the more that we do the inner work within ourselves, we actually create that shift for other people. Let me give you a classic example. My father, love, bless his heart and his soul, he's awesome, right? Did I feel like that for many of the years of my life? Probably not, right? I would have told you the victim status, and and by no means comparatively is there the kind of level of incense that I felt, but like more of like I grew up feeling like I never got the emotional connection, and it was pretty harsh. It was all the programmings, right? Many of you probably have the experience either by your own parents, or maybe you did it to your own kids, where you were caught in a program of being all focused on your own stuff and not being emotionally available for your kids. First of all, drop any judgment for yourself, and also drop any judgment for your parents and other people on the planet, right? But I just want to share with you, for the longest time, my dad would never listen to me, even though I've got value to offer in so many different areas of life. He would never listen to me. He couldn't learn from anyone else. It was only a week and a half ago that I fully red-pilled my dad. He was ready, because he was like, this CV, none of this makes sense. And I tuned in. I'm like, oh, he's actually ready. So I gave him a 30-minute download, and the poor man was like, but credit to him, he listened. He left the house, and he got it within hours. He was sending me stuff that he'd been looking into, and I sent him more stuff and tuning into it and being aware of it, and sending me amazing stuff now that I'm laughing because of the quality of the stuff he's watching and sending to me. My point with that being, the only way I could serve him was by taking care of the energy in me first, clearing that so I could be that bright light, that big container that could hold that space with love and unconditional love and lacking judgment, no judgment, so that it can be holding that space to be able to, there's no triggers, right? No triggers. There's nothing of the past, nothing in the moment. If he wanted to reject it, I wasn't taking it personally because I realized it wasn't me. Is this useful and making sense? And Denise says, the Awakened Soul program is an incredible program. Expect unbelievable results. Big promise, and I promise big results. Katie always goes above and beyond in her trainings. Thank you, Denise. Yes, I do. And we need more Awakened Souls, so do it. Yay! Good call. Actually, Denise, are you in a moment, do you want to come and wrap up this call with me? Would you come into the live call with me and say hello and just do your little share? Sorry, I'm just trying to, I'm going to send you the link privately, and if you come on in, people get to see you. Beautiful. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Denise. You are such a light leader. And I want to say thank you to so many of you, clients of mine who are in this group, the Soul Sisters, who are participating and really connecting people, new people who are coming into this group, and just you're supernovas. You're awesome. And new people who are sitting back and absorbing it and asking questions. Maybe you're not as active on the front line, but you still have a valuable, energetic contribution to this community. And I just want to thank all of you for where you're at, what you're doing, and I love you. And may this be a place that you are hammocked in a hammock of love, so that you feel safe, and a place where you feel connected with your soul tribe, and collaborate, invite and enroll with so many more. Don't be your own guidance system, and in order to do that, you really got to do the energetic clearing. So yeah, awesome. Okay, let me see. Yay! Here we go. We're going to have Denise come on in, and we'll do a bit of a wrap up. But Denise is fun. Denise is so much fun. Hi, Denise.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We can. We can. Why don't you just share where you are in the world and how we met and your experience of the Awakened Soul program?
Okay. I am in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and USA. I met Katie in December of 2008 at a certified firewalk training. And about 4 or 5 years, I guess 2009, when I got on Facebook, I saw her on there, and she had shared a picture of sitting in McDreamy's lap. And anyway, we connected, and somehow I knew when I first met her that in the training that we would meet again. So actually 4 years ago when she decided to start this path to enlighten others. I jumped on board and have been a part ever since. Been through all of the programs, which are great. And the Awakened Soul is really a big part of why I'm where I am right now. And she definitely guided me to be able to use my clairvoyance and all that better than I had been able to. I was gifted with it. We all are. When we're born, we just turn it off. So we have to learn, and the things that have been fed to us and given to us turns it off. So we have to find a way to reactivate it. And the Awakened Soul program is the way to get to your true self and your true identity and connect with everything and all that is.
And thank you so much. You're awesome. And it's such a fun journey. I mean, and just to qualify, McDreamy is Grey's Anatomy, an actor. That was a manifesting story as well in that one. But I'll tell that one in the Awakened Soul program because it's a little long. So I'll put it in there. Remind me and I'll share it. What would you say to someone who thinks they're awake, how they will benefit from this?
If you think you're awake and, like she was saying earlier, you're still in the ego and you're still in the I know that, you're not really awake. And even though I thought I was awake for a long time, I really wasn't. I did have to go through the process and do the work and clear and clear and clear. And that has been a true process. I was lucky enough to go to Bali with Katie in a group in 2017, and my life has been on warp speed ever since. Just incredible everything. I've lost everything, but through losing everything, it allowed me to be here and be open and be a light worker and help others through this transition that we're getting ready to go through, that is so big, and feel every step of it along the way because I am an empath and a light worker. So the Awakened Soul program just really helped me get there and, have a better knowing and connection.
And it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. And yeah, we did have a retreat. I've had two, and I knew last year when I was planning out my 2020, I was like, hey, there ain't going to be any Bali retreats this year. I knew that there was something coming up, and that look at us, we're all in a retreat in this sense of the word. But it really is amazing. And Denise, thank you. You are such a wonderful light leader in our community, supporting so many people. And it's just such a delight to be able to introduce you to so many of the people who are coming on board. We've got lots of new members who are jumping on in. And I just want to introduce those of you who are new and you're coming into the Awakened Soul program, which is the paid training that you can join us to go on a much deeper and accelerated live group experience. There are women in that group, and this is open to men too now. So in the past, I used to only work with women, but it's opened up for everybody. And we do have men in the group already, so you're not going to be the first one if you're seeing this and you want to jump on in. We have some men joining us already. I just want to invite you to make that jump, because you're going to be cradled with so much love, with so many amazing people. And it's not just me in that group that will be facilitating. There'll be other people like beautiful Denise, who are contributing with so much of their value and their awakening, their experience. You're going to be feeling like, oh, this feels so right, and it's going to be a great experience. So Denise, thank you. I appreciate it. And those of you who are watching, don't hesitate, jump. Take that quantum leap of faith into the Awakened Soul program. Only $396 right now, so go do it. And I don't know when I'll be running it live again. There is a second course that I run after this one. So when this one starts on the 20th of April next week, a lot of my energy will be diverted into that paid group and going on a much deeper dive. I'll still be showing up in here. I'll still be giving you heaps of value and facilitating. And I want to say thank you, because so many of you are activating the dream that I had. You're running it without me. Yes. That's always been my dream, right, Denise?
Yes.
Yeah. And so thank you, because this is not about me. This is about we. This is about collective, as raising our collective energy for humanity. And you're all doing an amazing, marvelous job. And if you want to join us into the deeper dive, click the link above and join us in the Awaken Soul program. Or if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me or any of the ladies who have said that they've done the program or they're in the program. Feel free to reach out and ask them some questions. I know that they will be so open-hearted to share with you and make the leap. And if you're watching this and you don't feel called to actually join the program, but you have the funds and the finances to sponsor somebody, I'm calling you energetically at a soul level to action to be a sponsor for somebody. You can let me know if you want to sponsor 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 people, and that'll be wonderful. Even if you're in the program and you say, yep, I still want to sponsor someone, please let me know, because I do know that there are some people who, for whatever reason, still struggle to make that payment. Last week we did that. I said the call to action and somebody got sponsored big time. So the whole thing to go. The other option is that you can choose the payment plan. There's $111 a month for 4 months. That's the option that can get you kick-started. So much love and light, and may you all be blessed, creating magic and miracles, and I will see you again very soon.